And welcome back to another episode of the UMass Sports Insider, coming at you from inside the Mullins Center in Amherst. We have a lot in store for you on this edition that includes a conversation with the entire men's basketball coaching staff, along with checking in at the Football Performance Center. We're also going to visit with a A10 Co-Coach of the Year. But before we do that, let's welcome back in Nathan Strauss. And Nathan, quickly here, it feels different on campus this week because the students are officially back. We're ready to roll.
Yeah, 20,000 students rolling into Amherst, and it seems like just about all of them got out to a game this last weekend. Standing room only at Rudd Field and Gladchuck Field Hockey Complex for the games. We'll show you the highlights of them and just an incredible top atmosphere. Let's
get into those highlights. We'll start with football and their first game under head coach Don Brown and his return down at Tulane. A tough loss, 42-10, as the Minutemen rotated a pair of quarterbacks, Brady Olson and JUCO transfer Gino Campiotti. It was Campiotti on a 4-yard touchdown run early in the second quarter that tied things up at 7. Minutemen finished the half with an 18-play, 65-yard scoring drive that resulted in a 21-yard field goal from Cam Carson. 42-10 the final, UMass coming away with 200 rushing yards on the ground.
Men's soccer improved to 2-0-1 with a dominant 3-0 win over Boston College, a tournament team from last year, on September 3rd in front of a standing room only crowd. 3 goals in that one from UMass. Matt Sense got it started with a goal in the 5th minute before 2 goals from Alec Hughes and Ryan LeVay on assists from Evan Fournier wrapped it up in the second half. UMass men's soccer returns home to take on BU this Saturday after a midweek contest against Central Connecticut State.
Women's soccer picked up their 3rd consecutive draw on Sunday the 4th versus Lowell. Lauren Bonavita picked up a pair of goals in the 2-2 contest, giving the grad student 4 already on the year. The 2-2 tie came on the heels of another 2-2 finish against Boston College, with goals in that one by Bonavita and Juliana Ryan.
And lastly, it's another win in overtime for number 21 ranked field hockey as they pick up a 4-3 win over New Hampshire this last Sunday. Freshman Gabrielle Benkenstein brought home the game winner 3 minutes and 45 seconds into the extra frame off a penalty corner. The Cardiac Kids of UMass field hockey.
Top-ranked field hockey, as we will be visiting with Barb Weinberg, as I mentioned, co-A10 Coach of the Year from last season. But before that, let's take a look at what's going on here on campus coming up. You've got women's soccer, men's soccer, field hockey, and then football. The home opener on the 17th against Stony Brook. Tickets for that one on sale now. We hope to see everybody out at McGurk Alumni Stadium. Meanwhile, let's send things over to Destiny Philoxy as she introduces to us some of the newer players on the women's basketball team this year.
Hey everybody, it's Destiny Philoxy here, and I am currently here with Layla Fairs, who is a newcomer on the UMass women's basketball team, and today we have several questions for her. My first question would be, where are you from?
I'm from Middlesex, New Jersey.
What is it like there?
Kind of the same.
Kind of the same? All right. The transition from Philadelphia to Massachusetts, was it a big change?
Definitely. A smaller school to a bigger university, and then in the city to a rural area, so.
Okay. What would you say your favorite food is?
I'm gonna have to go with mac and cheese. Home cooked though.
Home cooked, so like baked and all that.
Yeah.
Okay, you got it.
No breadcrumbs.
No breadcrumbs. All right. My last question to you would be, what did it feel like blocking my shot in the playoffs?
It's great.
It felt great.
Great. And I stole the ball.
And you stole the ball. All right. Anyways, y'all. I'm here with Layla Fair, who is a newcomer from University of Massachusetts, and glad to have you here.
When I went through my hometown, it was a tough one. I'll be honest with you. And I said, maybe I've got to see this town again.
Nick was bleeding internally and rushed from Lenox to Bay State, where 2 surgical teams led by Dr. Jabor and Dr. Katali operated simultaneously to remove tumors in his colon and small intestine. Watch Nick's amazing story at baystatehealth.org/mystory.
It just feels so good to be healthy.
Bay State Health, advancing care, enhancing lives.
We know you're busier than ever before, caring for your children, your parents, or a loved one. And don't forget about yourself. You deserve a health plan that guides you along the way and helps you make the decisions that matter most. Health New England has options designed to meet the needs of everyone in your life. We'll be here for you every step of the way. Get a health plan that grows with you. Health New England, where you matter.
This is your world, your job, your crew, your CAT compact equipment. And this is the support from your local CAT dealer. This is helping you meet your deadlines, your bottom line, your offers, your savings. This is getting you your parts and everything you need on time, easier than ever.
When you need to dig, lift, move, cut, or just about anything else, then dial up the rental source staffed with equipment and construction experts. They'll help you get the right machine for the job and make sure it's delivered when and where you need it. With locations across New England and the newest and most reliable inventory, Milton Rents is your local source.
Welcome back here on the UMass Sports Insider. My name is Nathan Strauss, joined by redshirt senior Jalen Mackey. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, Nathan.
So let's work backwards a little bit in terms of your career. You joined the Minutemen this year from Dartmouth, led the team in tackles last year, almost got 100 on the season. What was your big takeaway from your time with the Big Green?
Just to value your time, to take it day by day. Because truth be told, it feels like I was just a freshman. I look back on my college career and I look back on it with fondness. I'd say, something I try to tell the younger guys here now is that, every play is not guaranteed. The next snap is not guaranteed, so you need to make sure that you're doing what you can now to get to where you want to go.
And before Dartmouth, you went to St. Thomas Aquinas High School, one of, if not the best high school football program in the country, produced a number of NFL Hall of Famers. How do you think your time there, your 2 years there, prepared you for your college journey?
Just a constant high level of practice, I'd say. The practices were so much more fun and so much more competitive than sometimes even the games. Just going up against guys like Elijah Moore and Tavares Kelly and Mike Harley and Josh Palmer and Trayvon Grimes, the list could go on. And also just, being able to compare yourself to guys playing next to you like Asante Samuel and Nick Benito and, Rocky Shelton, just making sure that there's a certain standard that you have to live up to. So I think that's where, the benefit comes from.
And now you find yourself as one of the older players in a locker room that has a lot of new faces. What have you been doing to sort of assume that leadership role and maybe help this locker room gel together?
Well, I'd say early on, I'm a big believer in establishing yourself before you come in and trying to be more of a vocal leader. So I'd say early on, just trying to be more of that role model and leading by my actions. Now that, I've gotten accustomed to the guys and, meld with the team a little bit, just being more vocal in where I can be and, just doing what I can.
Well, Jalen, 9 tackles to lead the team in the first game. We're looking forward to seeing what you do the rest of the season. Now we head over to the film room with Jay Burnham and Coach Alex Miller.
All right, Nate, thanks so much. We're here still at the FPC with Associate Head Coach and the offensive lineman himself, Alex Miller. And Coach, a lot of running in that first game. What was your assessment of your unit in the offensive line?
Yeah, obviously we went into that game, trying to run the football and eat some clock up and, play good complementary football. And, we did that for a good chunk of the game. I thought the guys played hard. That's the most important thing in that first game is you want to make sure their effort's high. But they had a good attitude about them. Like they came off the football. Like they definitely took ownership of the challenge, which I was excited about. Ultimately, like we can slice them we want. We didn't win. But I thought they did a good job, taking the ownership of that challenge. And, they're just going to have to continue to take that challenge each week. And, listen, at the end of the day, man, running the football as an offensive lineman is the thing you want to do the most. And, we're going to continue to build off that with them and, keep involved in the tight ends and the running backs and, just making it a team approach.
200 yards on the ground. That was mixed in a variety of different ways. We saw Tim Baldwin really emerge, leading the way in rushing yards. What did you think of his performance?
I thought it was, he had a great week of practice, so you kind of felt like, hey, when he gets his shot, like, let's see what he's got, and he stepped up to the plate, and I think that's going to be the difference with our team going forward is we have a lot of guys that can run the football, whether it's the quarterback or the running back. So, you better get in there and take advantage of what you can, because we're going to, play the hot hand, and that's the great thing about depth is you got competition within the unit and the side of the ball, and it's all hands on deck.
Last one for you here. We talked in the preseason about the guy in the middle for you as a transition move from defense to offense. What did you think of Josh Atwood, and how did he hold up?
I thought he played a good game. I mean, the good thing about Josh is he's played college football before. So like that, the jitters or whatever you want to call them, like he didn't have to worry about that. He's just, dealing it with on the other side of the ball. So like his preparation, I thought throughout the week was like, okay, I've done college football before. Like I'm just going to go play center now. And it showed up on film. Like he played hard and played pretty well. And, I think definitely, and we can build off that for sure.
Sounds good, Coach. Thanks so much.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
All right, more to come as we've put a microphone, for some reason, on offensive coordinator Steve Kasula. He's mic'd up next.
All right, let's have a day, man. Let's get ourselves ready for a great one. Let's go, baby. Hey, I'm going to have to hype down. Anytime that we can do a medley, we're going vegetable of the day, man. We take one more. Assassin's Creed. Spinning it today, huh? I love you.
Love you too, Coach.
I just want what's best for you.
Yes, sir.
It's just kind of like loosens it all up, doesn't it? Loosey-goosey. What day of the week is it? Back in the day we used to call this when I was DJing. Where would you rather be Wednesday? White ankles, bad luck. You receivers going to join us this month? And here I am. It's called the freeze technique. People talking about people. Get out of here. Come on, slots. Get over here, you little billies. What? I'm trying to keep you guys cool. Trying to make sure my boys, trying to make sure nobody overheating, man.
I think I got yelled at yesterday. We're so quick. So quick.
Pick me up! Pick me up! Hey, man, that son of a gun gonna run into my ass out here. He gonna run me over.
And we continue on the UMass Sports Insider Show, and we are going to talk hoops. And I've got three guys to do that with me right here. Associate Head Coach Alan Edwards, Assistant Coach Brian Steele, and Assistant Coach Derek Kellogg. Guys, how you doing? Thanks for being here.
Great.
Doing great.
Thanks for having us.
Do you think we could fit anybody else on this desk? Or
If we had to.
three's enough? All right. Bring you guys on because a lot's happening, even though nothing's really happening on the court for the guys until September the 7th. But Coach Edwards, I want to start with you. Feeling for you heading into the season with the talent that you've assembled, what are some of the things that you're looking forward to this year?
Well, I mean, with all us, in a sense, being new to the scenario outside of Coach Steele and then TQ and Wildens, you know, there's a lot of new pieces. So at the end of the day, we were able to cover some ground over the summer, but we were still missing two guys. But now that we got another coach, obviously, Coach Kellogg, and we got two incoming guys with him, it'll be great to get everybody here at once. And now I'm just excited to get back going and getting around our guys and getting better on the floor.
Yeah, we're excited to see you do that. Coach Steele, to you, you know, thinking about just the overall talent that you guys have been able to assemble here, where does that register when you see kind of the names that are coming in and the ability that these guys have and teams that you've been with in the past?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it the other day in the office, Frank and I, like, this is probably the most talented team we've had since we made that Final Four run. And from top to bottom, I don't think we have a weakness on our roster. So maybe it'll come out later in the year, but I know we're really excited about it. It's August right now, and I have trouble sleeping every night, and I have dreams about the team. Like we're all in on it right now. We're really excited about this group, and you know, we think we can compete for a championship right away.
Man, love to hear that. Why don't I bring in this guy, Coach Derek Kellogg. Welcome back, man. How's it going?
That's great. I appreciate it. It's good to meet you in person.
How did we get here? I mean, tell us a little bit about how you found your way back to UMass.
Well, it's, you know, Frank's been great, obviously conversating on the phone and having a huge hand in getting me back to the area. Obviously not getting acclimated to the university in the area, but really getting acclimated to the staff and how Frank and his coaches and players do things. And I'm excited to be here. I was able to watch from afar the talent that these guys have assembled. And, you know, my job coming in was to help, you know, further along that process, to help the team. And if I could chip in some players along the way, that'd be great. And I'm excited to be here. My family's super excited to be back home. Yeah. And looking forward to working with the staff and Frank and the university to get this program where we all know it needs to be.
And full disclosure, as someone who grew up watching you play, super excited to be sitting at this.
I'm that old now.
Coach Edwards, you hear Coach Kellogg talking about, you know, getting acclimated to working with Frank. Mm-hmm. What is it like to work with him on a daily basis?
Well, Coach Steele would have probably a better feel for that. You know, obviously I played for Frank, you know, when I was a young kid, but the time that we've spent this summer, it's been great. And just seeing how he goes about his day, how he operates, he doesn't micromanage. He trusts us as a staff to go out there and be able to command a practice floor, to be able to even write up practice plans, to get ready for workouts. But at the end of the day, you know, I think he has a tremendous trust level in what we've assembled as a staff. And then now we're working on that with the players.
Well, Coach Steele, I guess I'll ask you the same question because Coach Edwards told me to. What is it like working with Frank? And I guess, what is it like being sandwiched between two guys that have extensive head coaching experience?
Well, I think I'll start with the second part. I'm learning every day because they were both unbelievable head coaches, and they're different. You know, they're in different parts of the country. They ran different systems offensively and defensively. They recruited different pockets of the country. So I'm the luckiest person in the entire organization because I get to pick his brain every day, who is an unbelievable player, unbelievable head coach. Then I get here with DK, and he just tells me everything I need to know about UMass, the Northeast, and it's been a lot of fun. It really has because these guys are basketball junkies. I love hoop, and so just being around them every day, learning every day, getting better every day at such a rapid rate is a lot of fun. In terms of working for Frank, everyone thinks his personality as a coach on the court comes into the office, and it doesn't. In the office, Frank is just hilarious. Like, seriously, probably the funniest guy I know. And he always wants to have a joke. He always wants to have a good time. You know, like if he ever walks in your office and he sees you're kind of just down, focused, locked in, he's going to crack a joke and just lighten the mood. He's always trying to bring people's spirits up. And, you know, he's a family guy, so he doesn't keep us in there all day long. which we appreciate. And he's the best, man. Like Frank for us is like family, and that's how we run our entire operation, like family.
DK, can I call you DK now?
You
already
can.
on. That's perfect. Is this, when you look at kind of the assembly, national champion, former head coach, Final Four, you obviously have extensive experience. When you look at that amount of experience depth that you have on the staff, can you relate to another staff you've been on that's had this much cachet?
Well, the first thing is it's a great opportunity to learn for me, to learn from a different coach, a different system, to pick the brains of guys that have been around them but also have done different things. But yeah, it reminds me of some of the best staffs I've been around. Really, as an assistant, the only place I've really been is at Memphis, and we've had extensive guys move on to head coaching opportunities, and I feel like in a short amount of time we've been together, their energy, their ability to relate to the players and the people in the community, their passion for the game, it's something that I'm very fortunate to be a part of, and I'm looking forward to this great run here at UMass.
Guys, we're looking forward to it as well. You stick right here because we're going to have a secondary conversation that we'll put on the podcast online later. Meanwhile, we will take a break, come back. Thank you guys so much. Coming back with more here on the UMass Sports Insider.
We know you're busier than ever before. Caring for your children, your parents, or a loved one. And don't forget about yourself. You deserve a health plan that guides you along the way and helps you make the decisions that matter most. Health New England has options designed to meet the needs of everyone in your life. We'll be here for you, every step of the way. Get a health plan that grows with you. Health New England, where you matter.
This is your world, your job, your crew, your CAT compact equipment. And this is the support from your local CAT dealer. This is helping you meet your deadlines, your bottom line, your offers, your savings. This is getting you your parts and everything you need on time, easier than ever.
Don Brown is back in Amherst, and UMass football is entering a whole new era. Now's your chance to get in on the ground floor with season tickets for 2022. Season ticket holders receive a ticket to every home game in 2022 and parking in Lot 22, all for only $125 per seat. Get in on the ground floor and reserve your seats for a new wave of UMass football. Just go to umassathletics.com/tickets. Go you! And we're back with our Coffee with a Coach segment presented by Duncan. I'm Jay. She's Coach Barb Weinberg. We've got our coffees.
We do.
What's in yours?
I'm a cappuccino girl. Every time from Duncan.
A little fancier?
A little fancy. I'm a little fancy, only with my coffee.
Well, you guys, thank you for being here. You guys are off to a pretty good start. Been racking up a lot of minutes in the first week and a half, 2 weeks of the season. Give us your impressions overall of the start to the year for your team.
Yeah, sure. We have a lot of experience coming back and also a large group of newcomers. We've got 12 new players. So from a structure system standpoint, it's taken us a little bit to get our feet under us. But I think that, we're putting goals in the back of the net and we're coming out with the wins, even if it's in overtime.
How do you kind of mesh those newer players and some making an immediate impact here with the team that's returning?
A lot of strong leadership on our team. We've got 4 leaders in our leadership group, older players that have really taken the new players under the wing, and even before the coaching staff was involved for preseason, have really shown them the way.
We were over at the facility watching you guys take on the #1 team in the country in Northwestern. Didn't end the way that you had probably wanted it to, but what is taking on a team like that is so tough and highly heralded do for your squad early on in the season?
We have, with the A10 getting stronger and stronger over the past several years, St. Joe's has been consistently ranked in the top 10 in the country. And then just with our RPI ranking, we want to play top non-conference opponents to keep our ranking high. And if we're able to beat 1 or 2 of those opponents, then we're in a good position for the NCAA tournament.
I'm going to make you actually talk about yourself, which I know you probably don't want to do. You want to talk about the team, but you were kind of named as the co-A10 Coach of the Year last season. You've had a great run of success here at the University of Massachusetts. What is your coaching style or some of the philosophies that you're trying to instill on your team?
Sure. Just really strong values, and inclusive is one of our strongest team values, and We have a large international base, and our philosophy is doesn't matter where you're from, you get to know your teammates, you get to know what they're all about, how they were raised, where they came from, and that plays in to our dynamic on the field.
We were talking at the Open here about how campus just feels different now that the students are back in. You know, move-in weekend has come and gone. Can you feel that a little bit now? I know we're just only a couple days in, but that has to help in terms of getting your team acclimated and also just having a good crowd at the games.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely a great fan base this weekend, and just the vibe and the energy around campus. There's so much more excitement, and I think people filtering over us being near the Football Performance Center, they'll stop by just to see what field hockey's all about.
Yeah, and you know, top 25 program as it stands right now. We had a conversation a couple weeks ago with Jess Beach, who's been a big part of your team, and she comes from England. And I was sort of curious about how the overall integration for foreign players or kids that come internationally, because you do have an international sport. How does the University of Massachusetts and what it offers academically, culturally, help maybe recruit internationally for your sport?
Yeah, sure. In so many ways, I think the proximity and access to Boston, you know, easy flight into Logan and an easy trip over here to Western Mass. Eisenberg School of Business, us being a top research institution, it's a big draw for a lot of international students across the world.
What's the goal for you guys this year?
Win A-10s.
How are we looking?
That's it. We're looking very good.
Any last words of wisdom for us?
I just think we're going to keep pushing. We're going to try to switch around that overtime percentage and 75% win in regulation, maybe 25% overtime rather than the other way around. But this is a team of strong leaders, and they're going to keep pushing and improving every single game.
Coach, a win's a win, right?
A win's a win. That's it. We got to give the legs some recovery.
Yeah,
though.
that's true. All right. Thank you so much for being here, stopping by our set. It's a pleasure as always.
Thank you, Jay.
All right. Big thanks to Coach Weinberg and everybody for joining us throughout this episode of the UMass Sports Insider. For Coach and everybody else, my name's Jay Burnham saying so long from Amherst.